Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the single-player Let's Play series here in our Enigmatica 6 single-player world. So today I want to be getting out of technology and into some magic. So I think we're going to have a really great time here as we slowly but surely progress into some other technologies. So I think it's going to be very fun. In between episodes, I've just been leaving the digital miner running. I've got a digital mining kit here, which I will probably continue to run once again. So maybe we'll go find a place to put that down. But our ore tripling has been working very well. If we look at ingots, we are up to 4,000, 3,000, 2,500. Like the common resources we're doing great on. I did turn off Silk Touch because at this point we were doing so well on various resources that it was slowing us down more than it was really being beneficial to run everything off of a single pick. And have that sort of bottleneck. So ideally, the dream in the future would be to have multiple of those enigmatic fortunizers and multiple Fortune 6 pickaxes, but at the time, it's just not really ideal. So for right now, I'm going to take our little box here, our little digital miner in a box, and we're just going to toss this down. And I'm going to run this for another batch while we do some building today. So we'll do the following. It's going to save the name because I silk touched it, and do that, and we'll start. And that's going to get started with that. Looking good. I'll just put this over here for now. Well, I guess we can actually center it. Anyways, so one of the things that I made earlier in this series, mostly to do some quest completion, was the create, what is it called? The create Schematic Cannon. So what I've done is in a single player copy of this world, it's actually an older version, I have created what I want to do our occultism work in today. So I've got pretty much all the equipment I think I'm going to need for this already made, right? So if we look at create, we already have the schematic cannon, we already have a schematic table, and we already have a schematic and quill. So what we're going to do to get this going, I know we said no more tech, but there is a little more tech. We're going to open this up, and you can see if I scroll all the way here at the bottom, you'll see Occultism Tower. And if I put this guy in and click, it's going to load everything from the Occultism Tower file on my local computer over to the server, because just a reminder, we are on a server. You can see that there are one players online because it is a server. It's just a small server, just for me. So what we can do is we can put this down somewhere. You can see it's pretty big, and that's because it is its very own island. So we may want to look into a couple of things help us get that started. First thing I can think of is some sort of angel block. No, okay. So we may just have to scaffold with, like, scaffold? And just find the right place to go put this. Once we get this all scaffolded out, we'll have to proceed to basically supply it with the equipment that it needs, the blocks that it needs. So I'm thinking of building it maybe somewhere over here, because we have our portal here. So maybe we can take advantage of the height on these trees. That's right, these do technically require a solid block. And so what we're going to do, the reason I have this here is because while you can place this down in the air if you just hold down control, and I am going to do that. You can see it's just floating around, centered roughly around my player. If I right click, you see it's going to put down a schematic. So this is fake. I can fly right through this. None of these blocks are real. None of it exists. Ignore the carpenter's blocks. And I do want to note that I did make this using the built-in mod Mighty Architect, just to kind of help get this design figured out. But this design here is going to have multiple floors of elevators, starting from here, and it's just going to go up. And this will give us a lot of space to do a lot of occultism stuff. And we may end up offsetting this or even doing a ladder on the end instead, just so that we can keep the center clear for any occultism rituals. And we'll just have to play around with it. But for now, this is pretty much exactly what I want. Now, while I have this out, I can use Alt to focus the menu, and then I can change between moving X and Z, moving Y, changing the position around some, rotating or mirroring. And honestly, I think the only thing I'd want to do is rotate. So you do that by holding down the control key while scrolling, and you can see it'll just rotate the whole build. I can also, like I said, move X and Z by looking on one of the axes on this whole cube here and scrolling. So scrolling down brings it closer and scrolling out brings it further. Same goes for this axis, and I don't really care. It's a very imprecise science. And if I wanted to really like amp it up, I could just go all the way up, but I want to have a series of these floating islands with bridges in between. So I think that would be really cool. Like I said, you can rotate. You can also mirror, so if you want anything to not be symmetrical, you can, but they're already symmetrical, and this is just going to break our little stair setup for some reason. So yeah, we're not going to mirror. And so now that we have this all set up and ready to go, that's where the schematic cannon comes in. So we're going to put this guy in right here. We're going to put our schematic here, and it's going to require a couple of things. So if we scaffold out here, I'm going to /home, grab gunpowder, and some storage. And we're going to need the ingredient list, which we'll sort out soon enough. So if we take a look here, there's a checklist printer. I should have done a book and quill, I believe. And if not, I'll just bring a book. That's fine. I'll just fly on over. So this is going to tell me every material that I need and exactly how much. It's going to be quite a bit, but that's okay. A lot of these you can also skip. So we're going to set up a couple of diamond chests on the sides here to provide resources. So I'm going to give it gunpowder, and that will tell it... actually, I think you have to do the gunpowder manually. My bad. Gunpowder will fuel. If I hit start, it's going to start searching, but it has no blocks. So you see it's going to tell me I'm missing stone. You can see there are some settings here to protect or skip certain things, but I don't really need any of that. So what we're going to do is look through this checklist and start working on it. Shulker boxes would actually also be very, very helpful here. So maybe we'll do that. I think that would probably be the right move. So, if we look at our material checklist here, we are going to need acacia, wood. It's not the log, it's the wood. So it needs 96. That's perfect. We're going to need the aluminum ore and stuff. I'm not going to concern myself about. So it wanted 233. So let's see if that's 192. That's 233. And you can validate by holding this, by the way. Let's see, 233. 8 black stained glass panes. Is there a way to more seamlessly? No, okay. So we'll do that. And I'm going to go and work on getting the rest of these resources because there are a few. And then I'll come back because, again, this is just going to take me forever if I don't. So I've tick accelerated my guy here, and I've provided it with all the resources it needs. And boy, is it funny to watch this thing just kind of spit together an island really quickly. Yep, so now it is either... Yeah, it's done tick accelerating, so this is the standard speed. But if we just watch it, it'll assemble us one entire house. So yeah, I think that's basically it. I did leave a lot of things missing, like ores and stuff that it was asking for, but it still was able to build out the entire island, which is pretty much perfect. This does leave a dark spot below. I'm aware. We can figure out how to handle that soon. But I should have pretty much not much excess overall. So that's ideal. I'm going to go ahead and tear this down, get everything cleaned up and sent back to our main system, and I will be back. Okay, so I've got everything mostly set up the way I want it to be over there on our island, but there is one exceptional issue, and that's that we won't be able to access any of our stuff here from the island unless we make something called a network transmitter and a network receiver. So this shouldn't be too terribly hard. Usually the recipe for each is something like, where is it? Here we go. The network transmitter is the same as the network receiver, just upside down. They each require netherite ingot, but we've got a good bit. Not tons, but definitely some. So let's do... that's not what I wanted. Network. And we'll grab one of these, and a network card. Now, the network card can be used to link our network transmitter to our network receiver. So the transmitter is going to go somewhere over here is where I think I'm going to put it. And you see, it's going to want that network card. So why don't we /back ourselves up onto... Oh, that's not where I thought it would be. Weird. Why don't we head back over here to the island that we've created. And right inside of here, we can put our network receiver. Shift right click the network card and you can see it'll link to that. And if we /home, we can now insert this linked card. And you'll see it's 143 blocks away. And that block metric is important because the further away, the more expensive it will be. So right now we're not too terribly far away. So the cost in power shouldn't be that high. We can come take a look over here. So yeah, this is 64 RF per tick. That's not a problem. But as you go interdimensional and further away, it gets more and more expensive pretty quickly. But the upside is these network transmitters and receivers, these are basically a link to your entire network. So you can access all of your auto crafting, you can hook up a grid, which is what we need to go do. You can do any number of things. So overall, it's super duper helpful to have these things hooked up over here on the Sky Island. That way we can easily access our items. So I'm going to quickly craft up a crafting grid, and I will be back. All right, one crafting grid. And so now we can bring that guy over here. I think we can /back, right? Yep. We can bring this guy over here and put it down, and you'll see it is active, and it is set up to hook up to everything, just like you would expect. We can insert and extract exactly as you would want. So I'm going to set this guy up the way I always do. We'll do, not auto-selected, and sort by ID. So now we can do some cool stuff with occultism. So actually, I need to get a dark oak log. And it's kind of a good time now to decide where we want our stuff. Let's grab some more lanterns as well, because I am noticing it is dark on some of these levels. That should work, right? Yep, I think that should be good. We can always hook these up to the posts here if you ever wanted to. I think we're okay. Now, I feel like this area right here would be the perfect place for a ritual to go. So I'm kind of tempted to do ladders instead of elevators. But I'm not really sure if that's the best plan in the world. I just don't feel like the elevators are really doing it for the whole magic vibe. I believe, yeah, that's a support log. This could work. We could do one here. Brown. Did I make exactly? Oh, it's a gray. There we go. I was going to say, I don't think I made exactly as much as I needed. So if we put one here and one here. We could do ladders pretty much the whole way up. And then we could free up a good bit of space by doing so. At least here in the center of our build. So if we did that, we can come down here and clean all this up. like so, and let's make some ladders. Now, I think we have some choices in ladder. We have a couple of textures and variants. Yeah, no one seems better than another. So I guess we can go with dark oak. And we'll go ahead and craft a few of these, come all the way up to the top floor here, and let's do that. And there we go. That's a little better. So now we have a lot of space for our rituals and such. So what I'm going to do is set up a couple of them. So the idea here is that we have a couple of floors here set up specifically for our work here with... Oh, useless. Set up here specifically for our work with occultism. So if we bring out the Akashic Tome, and take a look here at our Dictionary of Spirits. We've already had one of these. I just made an extra one, and I forgot that I already had one. But there are a couple of things that we would probably want to have here. So first of all, we want our dedicated demon fire, and I'm thinking we would probably want to put one of those here and here on the first floor. So what you can do is make them infinite. So if we grabbed some Demon Dream Fruit, these are now infinite and dedicated. And that reminds me, I should grab some purple dye. Ta-da! Matching. So yeah, that gives us sort of an easy auto-crafting area for stuff like our what are they called? Crap. The attuned gems and the stone. So yeah, that gives us a start here. And then there are a bunch of spirits that we're going to want to get through, especially in the quest line. So maybe we should take a look at that. I am going to really quickly harvest up all of the Demon's Dream that I've been sitting here planting and growing. And I should also make sure really quickly that this area is claimed and loaded. Okay, so now looking into the quest line, I want to see where it wants us to go, because I can sit here and fumble through occultism, but I want to see what it thinks we should do. Okay. So where was it? I lost track of it already. Where'd it go? Here. The surprisingly substantial satchel, which is a really funny name for it. This guy's not too terribly expensive. It looks like these are possibly causing some lag here. So we're going to need a couple of sacrificial bowls because I think we only have a specific amount. That should work, right? And we can start dedicating a couple of things. Now, there was something I did in my montage that I didn't notice that I could have done. I manually broke every piece of chalk, and that was stupid. Oh, red chalk might also be useful to get into once we get further into some of these, what's the Ifrit essence? But the chalk brush is the easiest way to get rid of this guy, and I should have just done that. There's a quest for it and everything, I just missed it. I didn't even tune into that part for some reason. So yeah, to get into this surprisingly substantial satchel, this guy right here, we get Miner's Delight for it too. It's going to be the Foliot book, which is, this one is not bound, so I need to bind it, like so, to myself. And now that we have one that is bound, we will need the Azivius's Spectral Compulsion. Let's see what that looks like. Pentacles. Here we go. We're gonna need this guy. So this is one of the more common ones from what I've seen. So I think it would be wise. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that. I think it would be wise to set up one of these dedicated on one of our floors here just because it is pretty commonly used. So we're going to need our candles, our spirited attuned crystals, and I think if we were to right click and visualize, I want to say that these rooms are the exact size. Yep, they are. And I did that on purpose, and I put these ladders here pretty much on purpose as well. So we can start to work on these with tons of space and not worry about running out of space to do our rituals, and we can dedicate them, because this is one of the more common ones. I've already done this one several times. Let's see, already done that. We'll do shoot. And we're going to need 2 of these and 2 of these. So that is that ritual done. And I'm going to put our ritual bowls here. And that is that. So now for the, that's this part, right? We're going to need our foliot binding final. I forgot about that. It is the last one. And I already, like I said, have an extra dictionary of spirits. I'm just going to toss that in there for now. So to make this guy, we are going to need, I'm just going to do this. That way it quickly gives me all the items I need. And I need a silver ingot in a 5th bowl. And sometimes you're going to have an extra bowl needed here and there. So maybe we'll go ahead and set up each one of these rooms with 8 bowls, just so we don't have to worry about it. So we're going to need these 2 and our Book of Binding. And that's going to begin our ritual. And there we go. So this guy, the surprisingly substantial satchel, is surprisingly substantial. It is a belt slot item. We already have a belt, but it is cool because if we were to do this and unbind the tool belt, we can open the satchel at any time. This is basically a... Is there an animation for... Oh, it's because I'm sneaking. That's right. I forgot. So if we wanted to go ahead and go for the something outside of the tool belt, we could do this, and this is basically a backpack, but it's your belt. It's a satchel. So I'm curious to see, does it have a render? It doesn't look like it has a render. That would be cool if it did, but hey, that's okay. Personally, I'm going to stick with my inlaid tool belt. I do really like it. So we're going to do category belt, open, key B, open satchel, not that. I just like the belt. I don't need a lot of inventory space. I don't need the whole world in my pocket, so I tend not to like having a huge amount of space. It just makes me kind of have a bit of an existential crisis between what do I need to bring with me and what can I leave behind. So those are my thoughts, at least, on that. So let's go ahead and get a couple more of the bowls. These guys. How much of the other stone do we have? Oh, we have tons. Okay. Yeah, let's make plenty of these sacrificial bowls. I want each room to have 5, or 8 rather. And we'll have the 1 golden sacrificial bowl in the middle. I was going to say, that doesn't seem like how I did it. That makes more sense. So yeah, that should help a little bit. So now we will want to go through the quest line again. Looks like we get a lot of good stuff for this. Epic Oreos are great. I almost threw that into the fire. Whoops. Let's see what it thinks we should do next. Summon the Foliot Janitor. We may do that one. It's not really high up on my list here. The Otherworld goggles would probably be very helpful. Let's see about these. Okay, so for this, we're going to need... Once again, you're going to need a ZVS's Spectral Compulsion. We're going to need glass lenses, 2 of them. No, just 1. Sorry, it makes a pair. We are going to need the lens frame. this point, we're going to need silver, gold. Let's see, so that was 2 silver, 1 gold, and... Sorry, I am all over the place. And another foliot book bound. And then if we do that and that, that will get it bound to us. And so now we just do 1, 2, 3, 4, bind. That gets us the infused lenses, which we will use to make the Otherworld goggles. Now these are a head slot item, just like many other things I have running right now. So if we put these on, and what we're probably going to do is just interchange them as needed. But the Otherworld goggles will allow you to see otherworldly materials without needing the Demon Dream fruit. So they're not going to allow you to interact, but you can at least see them and acknowledge them. Isnium ingot can be used for a couple of things. That's cool. Was that a specific quest reward? It was. Okay. So the infused pickaxe might be pretty cool. But we might want to get into some of the Ginnies as well, some of the Ginny stuff. So let's see, what are we missing sort of in the main progression line? Let's go ahead and summon Foliot Janitor. So if we look here, there we go. This is what I was looking for. Let's go ahead and bookmark this. That way we don't lose it. This will pick up dropped items and put them in a targeted inventory. We're going to need a chalk brush, AVR circle. This one's a uncommon one. This isn't one that I've actually had to do before. Let's go ahead and grab a golden sacrificial bowl in case we need it. I am going to go ahead and take off the goggles, or swap them out rather. Just because I don't think we're going to need them currently either. We are going to need a whole bunch of white chalk, so let's go ahead and get this visualized. Whoops. We'll clear out these guys. That and that. And let's see. This doesn't look to be too terribly difficult. So far, I think it's just mostly candles and white chalk. So that's super easy. Cool. Beautiful. Okay, so now we can do some sacrificial bolage. Nope, just decided to break the ritual altogether, I guess, huh? Okay, cool. So we can do the janitor, which is, let's make sure we've got that noted correctly here. If we head back, that's going to be a book of calling, foliot janitor, because we're going to need another foliot. So let's grab this. I believe we're going to just need a bunch of books and quills in the end. Which reminds me that we have roses. Can we grow roses? We can. We should probably grow roses idly just to make sure that we're constantly keeping up with our need for black, because it seems like that's just going to continue to grow. So what we can do is let's grab some rose and some grass and a drawer. We'll just do a spruce drawer. And let's put this down somewhere inside here. I think it actually needs a little bit of space to grow. So perhaps it would be better to do it outside. I'm not 100% sure on that. We could always slap it somewhere like over here. So yeah, this is pretty slow, but it's idle. This is going to take 10 minutes, but 10 minutes for what is that? That's 6 every hour. I mean, we don't really use a whole lot of black dye, so that'll be fine. If we're really in a hurry, we could do a garden cloche, and that wouldn't be too terribly difficult to set up, but I just don't think it's particularly necessary. I want to go ahead and make another one of these, so let's do that. Because you go through these so quickly. So now we're going to bind that to ourselves, like so. Let's go ahead and make a couple of these, because we know we're going to go through them. And then we're going to need a chest, a hopper, our chalk brush, and a dispenser. So let's do a dispenser. Another chalk brush, because it's going to consume the one we have. And then a hopper. And a chest. All right, and so up here, we're going to do exactly that. We'll do these 4. And a foliot to do the foliot janitor. So, this is Azure Miriarch. Sorry, that's a bit of a mouthful. This guy will pick up whatever we give him and put it in the targeted chest. Now, there is a process for this, and I don't remember exactly what it is. Why didn't that give me the quest? Shift right click. This spirit picks up items from the ground, deposits them in the inventory that is set. Yes, but how do I set? Let's see. Well, what is the target inventory? This is what I want to know. We'll grab a chest, and at occultism, I don't think it's any sort of wand or anything. So I don't know. I do want to get this configured and stuff. I know. I don't know what you really want from me. Like, this will only pick up these, right? So if we want to tell you only pick up egg sandwiches, and you are in whitelist mode, then you'll come over here and pick up an egg sandwich, but where are you going to put it? Let me figure this out. Okay, I figured it out. So this is the book that you can use to call and revoke your little guy here. And I wonder if picking it up is going to make a difference. No. And if you shift right click it, you can set it. And if I right click it in the air, or what was it that I did just a minute? Yeah, you can do set deposit, set base location, and we can tell you to change your working area to just a 16 by 16 or 64 by 64. And so now if I tell you that's the base for you, then anytime you pick something up, you're not going to really exceed your 16 by 16. So if I dropped an egg sandwich, not a chest, an egg sandwich out here, you shouldn't come out here and get it, but you are, probably because it resets the data here for it. So yeah, he'll just come over here and grab egg sandwiches anytime I drop them. Pretty cool stuff, right? I mean, you know, not something we absolutely need on us at all times, but it seems pretty cool. Huh. The name is different every time. That's weird. Okay, I don't know why it's not giving us this quest. Shift right click for filtering options. Yeah, all of your dependencies are fulfilled. You're just being a butt about it. I don't know what you want, because this is a foliot janitor. Why are you going up there? There's not an egg sandwich up there. I guarantee it. So yeah, I'm not really sure what it is that the quest line is wanting, but it's definitely not whatever I've done. Let's do this. Let's just drop the empty book. Okay, I have no idea. Give me just a second. Okay, so a log out and log in seemed to help. Let's see what the quest reward was for that. I don't know if there was one. Oh, right. The Farmer's Delight. Okay. So, okay, now moving into... Moving into the next line up here. Come on, there we go. We have a couple of things. Maybe we should do the Foliot Crusher. That would be cool, right? So if we took a look at this guy here, you just want 4 ores and a Foliot. Okay. Oh, and which ritual? Aviary Circle. Okay. I don't think we have any ore. Let me go grab some, because we probably have everything auto-processing. Okay, so I picked up 4 iron chunk. Let's do... I'm going to put this away. We have our Book of Binding Foliot, and we need Aviary Circle, which is this one. So I think all we need to do is toss that there, and there. Oops, I probably missed something here. Foliot Crusher Ritual is any iron or iron. Oh, okay. It's not any ore. It's specifically iron, gold, copper, and silver. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, I should have everything I need now. I have copper, gold, and silver. Don't mind the cobalt. I definitely didn't go to the nether for the gold or anything. Oops. Silver, gold, and copper, and our bound foliot. Now that got me 2, which is cool. It's duplication. Now I'm a little confused why I didn't get the corresponding book. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss it. Okay, so I may have to do a thing called a mob imprisonment device. This one I already have. I think it's empty. Yep, good. So we may use this to imprison this little guy just to make sure nothing happens. If I can, maybe I can't. Isn't there a... No, it's the launcher. Okay. That's very much not convenient, because now I have no way of capturing you. Or just doing really anything with you. Now, will you move? Like, if I throw this over here, you will move. So I'll just keep you in the corner, I guess? I don't really know. I don't want to kill him. He is a good man, but I also didn't get the Foliot book for this guy. Like with the other one, we got this thing, right? We got the... Where to go? This. We got the Book of Calling. But we didn't get one this time. I guess they just don't have one? Interesting. Okay. And once again, it's not detecting these quests whatsoever, so I may have to start using cheats to get these to work, just because they're not... I don't really care about the quest reward, I just want the quests to be marked as done when I do them, and clearly that module is not set up to function correctly, or something. Couldn't really tell you. So anyways, that, for this episode, I think that is plenty. We have gotten quite a lot done, including building this whole area out and all. So I think what I'm going to do is call it an episode there, and next episode we can get even further into occultism and really deep dive into some of the more detailed bits of it. In between episodes, you can probably expect me to go ahead and get these tier 2, tier 3, and storage accessors done. They're pretty much everything we've been doing so far, except with a book of binding Ginny instead of Foliot, but I think either which way, it's not really going to make all that big of a difference. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.